So over at the World Economic Forum in Davos, something really fascinating happened. Microsoft Satya Nadella and the UK's Rishi Sunak got together and they basically reframed the entire global AI race. They argued that we're all focused on the wrong thing. It's not about who builds AI first, but who can spread it the fastest. So let's dive in and break down what that really means.
Their whole conversation really boiled down to one central question, and it's the big one we're going to tackle today. Who actually controls the future of AI? And, maybe more importantly, who's really going to benefit from this incredible technological shift?
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We're looking at 5 key areas. First, what the real AI race actually is. Then, the absolutely crucial role that leadership plays in all this. We'll look at how our jobs are changing, the new rules for how businesses compete, and finally, what this all means for countries on the world stage.
First up, the real AI race. And I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with who builds the most powerful model first. No, it's something way more fundamental than that.
Here it is. This is the big mindset shift. Rishi Sunak is basically saying, look, everyone's obsessed with the sci-fi race to build some superhuman AGI. But the real competition, the one that actually matters for a country's success, is the race to adopt and diffuse this technology through your entire society.
And that race is all about this one word: diffusion. This is the key concept for our whole conversation. If you look back through history, it's not always the inventor who gets the biggest rewards from a new technology. No, it's the societies that are the best at spreading it, at diffusing it, so that everyday people and businesses can actually use it and build new things on top of it. Okay, so if diffusion is the goal, how do you actually get there? Well, that brings us to section 2, the role of leadership. Because this stuff doesn't just happen on its own. It takes a very specific kind of leadership, from the very top all the way down to the grassroots. So who's getting this right? Well, according to Satya Nadella, one of the most amazing examples on the planet right now is the United Arab Emirates. He points to them as a country that has created this perfect storm of government leadership and citizen adoption. And their playbook is actually a really powerful 4-step cycle. First, they laid out a super clear regulatory environment, so businesses knew the rules of the game. Second, they defined exactly what AI sovereignty meant for them. Third, and this is so important, the government itself became an early adopter, using AI in public services like healthcare. And that showed everyone the benefits, which then built the confidence for the private sector to jump in with both feet.
But that confidence piece, it's a huge challenge. Polling shows this really fascinating divide. People in the global south, countries like India and China, are incredibly optimistic about AI. But in the global north, the UK, the US, Europe, trust is almost half as high. And this is exactly where leadership has to step in, to build that trust and show people the upside.
And getting the regulation right is such a delicate balance. You see 2 totally different approaches here. The UK, under Sunak, has gone for a pro-innovation approach. So no new laws for now. Instead, they're building up tech expertise inside the government to keep an eye on things. The EU, on the other hand, went with a more precautionary route, with its big, comprehensive AI Act. 2 very different bets on how to unlock investment while keeping everyone safe. Okay, let's bring this down to a really personal level. Section 3, the new world of work. The massive question for all of us is, how do we stay relevant in this new world? The real question is, are you AI literate? This quote, which Sunak brought up, just perfectly captures the new reality. The immediate threat isn't that a robot is going to take your job. It's that you'll be outcompeted by another person who has mastered using AI as a tool. Being AI literate is quickly becoming a basic, fundamental skill, not just a nice-to-have. So think about it. As AI starts to handle all the routine, analytical stuff, the grunt work really, what becomes more valuable? Well, according to LinkedIn data, it's the skills that are uniquely human. 8 of the top 10 hot skills right now are things like leadership, empathy, and critical thinking. It's less about doing the task and more about knowing what to ask the AI and, crucially, what to do with the answers it gives you. This really highlights the profound mental shift we all need to make. Steve Jobs had that famous metaphor that computers are bicycles for the mind, right? Tools that amplify our individual skills. But Satya Nadella says we need a new metaphor. We are becoming managers of infinite minds. Your job isn't just to do the work anymore. It's to manage a team of AI agents to get that work done. It's a massive change in how we think. And that leads us straight into our 4th section. How do businesses compete now? I mean, if every single company has access to these incredibly powerful AI models, how does anyone possibly maintain a competitive edge?
Well, the new source of that advantage is something Nadella calls context engineering. See, the intelligence from a big foundation model is generic. The real magic, the competitive edge, comes from how you combine that general intelligence with your company's unique private data, your context, to create better results for your customers. It's not about having AI, it's about what you feed it.
In fact, Nadella sees a future where pretty much every company has its own foundation model. They wouldn't build it from scratch, of course, but they'd create a customized version with a unique set of weights, which you can think of as the model's learned experience, that captures all the specific, unspoken knowledge of that individual business. It basically becomes your company's own unique AI brain.
And this new reality, it's already unleashing this huge wave of creativity. The barriers to starting a new business have just plummeted, which is exactly what happens when a technology diffuses successfully. And this number is just startling. A 69% increase in people in the UK identifying themselves as founders on LinkedIn. People are realizing they can start things now they never could before. It is a genuine entrepreneurial boom.
All right, for our final section, let's zoom all the way out to the highest possible level. Section 5, AI and national sovereignty. Because this technology isn't just changing business, it's becoming a central piece in the great game of geopolitics.
And here's the crucial point. Technology is no longer just a tool for economic growth. It is now a component of hard power, plain and simple. As Sunak put it, you might not be interested in geopolitics, but geopolitics are certainly interested in you. Your company's technology is now seen as part of your country's strategic assets.
So how does a country manage all this? Nadella suggests thinking about it like a financial portfolio. You don't put all your money in one stock, right? You diversify. For AI, this means using a mix of solutions. Use the public cloud to get the latest innovations, maybe a sovereign public cloud for your sensitive data, and then a totally air-gapped cloud, completely cut off from the internet for your most critical national security stuff. It's a whole spectrum of risk management, not just an on or off switch.
And that leaves us with one final and pretty provocative thought. Nadella's hope is that the next big political competition won't just be about who has the best speeches, but about who gets the best results. Imagine politicians winning elections by proving they can use AI to create real, tangible benefits and surplus for the people they represent. Could mastering AI diffusion become the new key to political power? Now that is a question we'll all be watching unfold.